Whenever I say my PENDREAM TV there, I see them,
The man was there. He voted some. They made a promise. They were going to reject everyone. But they didn't in the end. There's a video actually trending. And they say the video comes from you, demonstrating how you voted. How did that come about?
Well, frankly, I took the video. It was not for public consumption. You know, there is a lane we have in Parliament, which is our colleagues in NPP says the radical lane. And you know, for whatever reason, I don't know why Honorable Murtala and Honorable Haruna made us sit there. When you come on that lane, you have me, number one, you have Honorable Nugbe, Honorable Yusuf Bole, you have Honorable Bawa, you have Dafia Mapo, you have Sohini, you have Sam George, you know, you have John Junapo, most of us are on that lane. So we took a decision, I mean, particularly those of us who were seated, and you said, look, me when I vote, I'm going to take a picture. Some said they would take videos. So Bawa, Honorable Bawa voted before me, you know, depending on the arrangement of the names. So when he voted and came, he showed a picture. He voted no throughout. Well, that was the directive and the position of the party. Honorable Yusuf also went and voted. And if I voted before Honorable Yusuf, so when I went and voted, I decided I want to take a picture, I'll take a video of how I voted. And I never took that video for the public. I took that video just, so when I came and said, look, I voted no throughout and the video. And with my voice, but I wanted it to be so authentic. This is Murtala, how I'm voting. And after the elections, I think somewhere in the night, I had a conversation with a colleague of mine, very senior, and then an issue came up, and I said, oh, I took my position. What the party directed that would do was what we should do. And then he said, oh, then I should send the video to him. I sent it. Unfortunately, he shared the video on platform. I never shared that video, and that is how come. Even when my attention was drawn, I called him and I said, what he did was not appropriate, but for the trust I wouldn't have. So it isn't that I took the video and I wanted to share that video. This I want to state very clearly. And you heard me saying that this is how I'm voting, and I voted no throughout. To be very honest, there were a lot of stories that came up before even the voting yesterday. Certain individuals were accused, but that was the reason why we took a decision that whoever, I wasn't accused anyway, we took a decision that when we vote, particularly those of us, so me, Yusuf, Nogbe, Honorable Edward Bawa, that was what we did. Now, if you look at the trend of the voting, I've heard a lot of stories, and a lot of my attention has been drawn to NDC social media platforms, that those who voted against the party decision were those who were against the changes. Are you getting it? And that the previous leadership, Honorable Haruna Idris and Mutaka's led leadership, you know, they influenced people to do that. And I think it is most unfortunate. If there was anybody who should be influenced to vote against the party decision to embarrass this by Honorable Haruna Idris, it will be me. Everybody knows how vociferous I was against the change. I was not against the change because of our friends who were elevated. I was against the change because of the process. And as a democratic process, you have the space to express your conviction, forceful as you may, as long as expressing it is within the ambit of law, and in this case, the party constitution. Nobody attacked anybody person. We raised those concerns. Council of Elders and the parties met all of us. We met with the leadership, and we have an outstanding working relationship with Honorable Atufosin and his team. I have an outstanding working relationship with the national chairman and also the national secretary. I remember when we had a caucus meeting and I was asked to pray. Then the national chairman said, hey, you, a bad boy, and then, you know, when we see each other, it's our national chairman. We disagreed with your position doesn't mean that we had problems with the people who were elevated. So that argument that Honorable Haruna Idris and co and those who were against the changes are those who voted, I think it is most unfortunate. Yesterday, I was in the chamber when Honorable Haruna Idris arrived in the morning and said, oh, there is a funeral. They told one of our colleagues lost their mother, and they were having the funeral at one Anglican church. If you get to Jokef, as if we are going to there is this Anglican church. So those of us who were around said, oh, accompany me and let's go to the funeral. We sat in two vehicles. Those of us who were seated in the vehicle, we said, look, this voting we are going to do today, everybody should ensure we vote to reject this minister. This was what Haruna was telling us. We should vote to reject this minister, to send a message to the MPP if they think that we are divided in our front. We are not. So how on earth could that same person will turn around and say that people should vote to embarrass the leadership? What I do know, the repeated conversations I have had with Honorable Haruna Iddrisu and Honorable Mutaka is that we should do everything possible to assist this leadership to succeed. So I think it is unfair that the kinds of allegations and rumor that people are peddling. I was there and someone called me and said, oh, he had one of our colleagues took money. And I said, look, I didn't hear, I haven't seen, and I can't speak to something that I haven't seen. And I even told the person, look, it's even in the month of Ramadan. If you testify against somebody that is not true, and Allah says that the crime of it is just enormous. So I would just urge people, it hurts all of us. Now, I won't sit here and claim innocence, even though there is video evidence how I voted. But we must all collectively be blamed for what happened. You remember when we had the elections, the other approval of the ministers, my position was very clear. But I never sat and said, I am a saint. No. And the reason why that time I didn't even take a video, because we didn't expect that we wouldn't have the ministers rejected. But this one, I took the conscience. But let me state, some say, honorable member of parliament, you go to vote, and then no. It was never for public consumption. So I want to state, and I state this clearly, at no point in time did Honorable Haruna Mutaka told me or anybody, or had them tell anybody that we need to vote to embarrass this new leadership. And if there was anybody they were going to tell them, it would have been me. Everybody knew my position about it. Ask Honorable Atufosin. We have an outstanding working relationship with him. Outstanding, despite our disagreement with the process. We never had problem with them. And in fact, in this matter, we did a lot. I insisted and asked Honorable Abuja. Before we voted, I came to Honorable Abuja and said, Honorable Abuja, I would insist that we are supposed to do it a secret ballot. But why not we insist that all of our colleagues, anybody who is going to vote, should take a video? Ask Abuja. I told Honorable Abuja, whoever is going to vote, because you cannot trust everybody. We saw that once in the elections in the approval of the ministers earlier. And he said that, look, Honorable, we could have done that, but you can't trust everybody. When you say this, the thing may get out there. So you see, there are a lot of issues. And look at the way the voting is done. If you look at the votes each of these people got, it will be difficult to see that someone influenced it. You know, when I say influence it, assuming that someone had influenced members of parliament from outside to vote a particular way, the numbers, the differences wouldn't have been that much. But you realize that each of the ministers, they got different votes. Some got almost 15, some 10 votes. So if there was, in my opinion, that's what I think, if there was that influence, let's say from our caucus, that we need you to vote this to embarrass this leadership, then there would have been a group of people they would influence to do so. And those group of people would have you would have had at least 2 members, 2 appointees having either the same numbers or numbers of just 1 or 2 ballot difference. But if you look at what they got, what hurt me so much, look, we knew we did not have the number. We have only 136. MPP has 137 and 138.
Yeah, plus
the independent. So our position was that whatever the case is, we should count our number. We should be able to get 136 people voting no. Even if we had 136 people voting no, and 138, 137 voted, we would have been convinced that yes, we vote en masse no. Unfortunately, you have some of them almost 20-something votes. Several factors. The hypocrisy in this also is telling. On the issue of the judges, I heard some people saying, oh, this particular judge is from our region and therefore we must approve him. Yet those people are the loudest. Those people are the loudest. When I went and I voted no, there were people from our region. I didn't vote for them. But you see those who are saying that a particular judge is from where and therefore we must vote, they are the loudest. So you see, let's all not, we should stop pretending and playing the ostrich. Every single member is being, and for me, the disappointment is not even we, if you quote unquote, the elite within the NDC. It's the grassroots. People who have suffered for this party, who have never had any appointment in this party, who need nothing, even if the NDC wins, their lives may not even change, but they just want to see the party in power. They are the people we have betrayed. But for me, the NDC has offered me a lot, and under no circumstance will I betray the trust of the party. So I want to conclude by reiterating that video was never meant for public consumption. I told you the person I sent it to, and I told the person when I saw it, I said, why would you share this? But we took a decision that this was what we're going to do. I think that Honorable Abuja wrote something on the platform, and for me that is encouraging. That look, what happened, we should let it go and let's forge ahead. Because if we begin to go ahead with this blame game again, it divides us the more. The MPP is happy about what is happening. When they had the speaker, their favorite speaker not elected, they were hurt. But how far did it go? I'm not saying that people should not express anger and hurt over the betrayal of the mass of our party. More so when the party gave a directive that this is the land we're going to. But when we begin to accuse people without a scintilla of evidence, that doesn't augur well for the cohesion within the party. Because frankly speaking, if there was anybody the former leadership were going to influence to do so, and before God and man, Haruna or Mutakan never told me, Murtala, we want you people should vote, or tell those who were with you when you were defending the cause to vote to embarrass this leadership. At no point in time. And yes, the statement I made when we were going to attend, I wasn't the only people. There were a lot of us said, look, you people should ensure that we vote to reject these people. For all you know, people are not even suspecting to have done that are those who did it. One thing I know is that everybody and your conscience, and God will judge everybody whether you betrayed the party or you didn't betray the party.
Thank you. Thank you.
My never say PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, Osia dem yopo.